every single day. Right home. I go home, we have this other ICU to open. The 13th or so hour, where I would look in the mirror, the full-length mirror, last thing, before I go down the stairs, and I'd say, I felt like I was going to war and didn't know if I was coming back home. I remember one day coming home after it was about the 13th or so hour, where the volume was just increasing and I had to open up yet another ICU space. And when I walked up to the 6th floor and got on the landing, my legs just couldn't move anymore. I was hot. I felt like I was so weak. And one of my nurse managers said, Sandra, you have to go home. And I said, I can't go home. We have this other ICU to open. We have patients coming in. And he said, we can manage. You know, this is not our first ICU now. We're going to expand. You have to go home. You don't look good. And at that day, I thought I was getting sick. I don't remember the ride home. I went home, drank my tea. I always have some white rum at home. So I took a shower, rub up with my white rum, and I was afraid to close my eyes. That's the first time in my life, and I'm a sleeper, that I was afraid to close my eyes. And I said a prayer and I said, God, please don't let me die in here alone. And I closed my eyes and woke up feeling refreshed. I didn't have COVID. Exhaustion. And that's what many healthcare workers are going through every single day. Exhaustion. We're out there caring for, and I'm speaking to my fellow Jamaicans now, your loved ones. We have to then go home to our families. I have nurses who left home for months because they were afraid to bring COVID home to their parents, to their children. So this is what we're dealing with, and it can be prevented.
The Delta variant now makes up about 83% of all the COVID strains in New York at this time. Has that changed the situation in the hospital you manage?
So we are monitoring. We started to see, prior to me leaving, a small uptick, but we're closely monitoring. We see the variant running rampant and see more cases in areas where vaccination rates are very low. And that should tell us something. In New York, we have a higher vaccination rate, so prior to me leaving, we haven't seen that uptick yet compared to some of the states where the vaccination rates are lower. Because that's where what the variant likes. That's how it replicates. With lower vaccination rates, it has room to replicate. With higher vaccination rates, you don't have the virus doesn't have much room to replicate, and hence the importance of getting our population vaccinated. But we are monitoring. We're sitting on edge because we don't want to go back through what we've been through. We're tired. We are, traumatized. And, we don't want to see patients dying. We're in the business of saving lives.
When did you get selected to be the very first in line, and why was it important for you to do so in public?
So I volunteered to take the vaccine. Ever since there were talks of a vaccine, I've been telling my friends and family, my colleagues, that when this does come to fruition, that I would be first in line. I trust the science, and so it's important for me to lead by example. What I don't trust is how I will be affected by COVID-19. What I don't trust is how I will be affected by COVID-19. What I don't trust is how I will be affected by COVID-19.